You are now listening to the Blue Record Podcast.
Yeah. Check it. Yeah. We in this together. A Spellmanite is a warrior fighting for justice. We can never be silent, so yeah, we causing a ruckus. Lift our voices up to bring injustice down. Speaking truth to power. We loving the sound, undaunted by the fight. Love is all we need. It's time to clear out the air so we all can breathe. Ain't no stopping us, we stick together. This bond is gonna last forever. Marching every day until we free. That's our buried treasure.
Happy Valentine's Day, y'all.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Well, it's not Valentine's Day yet, but do y'all have any plans to celebrate?
Yes.
The deep breath.
So shout out my boyfriend RJ.
Period. Shout out RJ.
I don't know what we're gonna do, but we're gonna do something.
Period.
Yeah.
Exactly.
My partner's birthday is February 9th, and he lives in Alabama, so I'll be going home the weekend before Valentine's Day to celebrate with him, and we'll probably celebrate Valentine's Day as well. So,
Ooh, fun.
yes, I love going home
I
to
love
Alabama.
love.
Please. What about you guys?
No, I saw a Hello Kitty thing happening in Atlanta. I am single, you feel me? So I'm
Period.
gonna go with my roommate probably.
That sounds
Okay.
really fun, and you have the best pictures all the time. So
Hopefully they're cute. I'm gonna try to get some cute,
I already know that it's gonna happen.
Period. The
Shout
only
out.
plans that I have, I want to go see the new Bob Marley movie.
I love
It's
Bob
coming out on
Marley.
Valentine's Day, so
That sounds fun.
I love
the
the
Love Bob Marley.
Me too.
Speaking of Bob Marley, could you? Y'all know that song? I'm not singing it right, but
Is it the oh no, his son has a new song out. It's like
Yes.
something about jaw. You know what I'm talking
Yes.
about?
I do know what
I'd be
you're
like,
talking about.
dang, that goes so
Yes.
Not every
hard.
morning, not It's Your Worship.
Yes,
It really
it's so
is.
good. It's so good. Now that we're on the topic of February 14th, we would love to acknowledge Morehouse Founders Day. Shout out to the brothers across the street. We love
Stay
you
across
guys.
the street this year.
Oh, oh.
Sorry. No. Was that too much?
No, go ahead and stay over there. No, I mean,
I meant.
man.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. Shout out RJ though.
Shout out RJ.
Shout out RJ.
RJ, you can come.
RJ,
across
you
the
can
street.
come on campus, say
Right.
hello to Fina.
Exactly.
Say, go get off.
You know, like happy Valentine's Day, happy Founders Day, happy Love Day. That's what it is. That's what it's
Today
about.
is very much about the femmes, though. Today we are defining love. That is our episode title. Subtitled, Is It Sapphic, though? Because we're going to get into it today with the color purple discussion. So we're going to be diving deeper into Sapphic media's role in the perceptions of Black women. And I asked the host to do some scholarly digging and help me define love. So I'm going to pass it over to Shiloh.
Yes, so I looked a little bit into All About Love by Bell Hooks and just found some quotes that I think would contribute to our conversation today. So the first one that I found is, if our society had a commonly held understanding of the meaning of love, the act of loving would not be so mystifying. Deep affection does not really adequately describe love's meaning. And then she goes on to say, to truly love, we must learn to mix various ingredients: care, affection, recognition, respect, commitment, and trust, as well as honesty and open communication. Do you all resonate with this definition of love? And if not, how would you define it? Is there anything that you guys would add?
Let's get into it.
Sorry.
This is deep.
I do feel that her first quote is correct in saying, we don't have a commonly held understanding of love, but that is because it is a mixture of these ingredients. I don't know.
And I also feel like love is defined differently by everyone.
Right.
So those can be common ingredients that, you could stir in a bowl to get something pretty. But like each individual person has their own recipe as as to like how they love, how they want to be loved, what love is to them.
Right.
Shout out love.
Stop. Not everyone likes pretty food though.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
you
some
know,
people like the ugly stuff.
sometimes you know those older couples where like they don't say much to each other. They just kind of exist around each other, but they love each other.
And
like
that's their
you
form of
know,
love.
Being in someone's presence.
some people don't feel like that's love because they're not like, I don't know, doing some grandiose thing. Speaking of grandiose, especially considering that we live in Atlanta, I feel like love sometimes can look very grandiose and performative, and it's
Grandiose.
like it's just like these huge acts and
Okay.
like not a lot of
I
action
agree but
behind
disagree.
it.
Sorry.
Ooh, tell me
period.
more.
Get
Like,
into it.
I agree because I was just about to say how I feel like the meaning behind love. We all have, of course, we all have different, recipes to our love. But when she says like our commonly held understanding of the meaning has changed, I feel like that's so accurate. Like we see people showing others love, and it's kind of like it's all the worst words. Like I'm thinking of like automatically, but
Right.
it's like as a person showing love in a grandiose way, you're usually judged for it. But I feel
Valid.
like in the way that you're speaking on, in Atlanta, is capitalistic love. It's not about showing
Right.
love because this is something you want, something that I want to give you. It's because I saw that someone got
TikTok.
this many
Performance.
flowers,
Right.
right, and I'm gonna get them for
They
you.
ordered it from this company
Right.
that's trending on TikTok
Exactly.
right now.
Right.
With the big bouquets
Yeah,
and
they're
the
pretty. I
dollars
want
and the
some.
flowers.
But
That's why I feel like love is well-rounded. Like it's not just okay, here's something that you like. Like it's also, let's watch your favorite movie for the 47th time since we've started dating.
Exactly.
like,
like love is not monolithic. It looks
Yeah.
so different. It's so diverse within every different person. And that's why I also feel like living in Atlanta, it's so important to not compare your relationship to other people's relationships.
yes.
Because comparison
It can
is
get
a
messy.
killer. It gets
Yes.
messy.
y'all are
Yeah.
not wrong.
I also want to say that I've had very love-filled relationship here on Spelman's campus. Like, I love my friends so much. Like, I love the people that I've met this year and have developed relationships in the past few years, but like especially people from my freshman year, like I love those people. Like I've grown up with them my entire life, and those friendships look like a lot of different things. Like it looks like us, like, standing together on Founders Day and taking, cute little pictures and turning up in places that shall not be named, and like just taking naps together, like in people's cars because we're exhausted between classes. Like it looks like all of these forms of just like softness and like kindness and like just openness, and that's something I really love about my friendships with like people at Spelman. Yeah.
And I was just about to ask y'all, what do y'all think she means by deep affection does not really adequately describe love's meaning? I feel like that's exactly what you just said, like those little moments that aren't about like showing affection or feeling affection. It's just about feeling comfortable and safe. That's what love is. Like that's where you find your love.
Yeah. I feel like for me, it's really different though. Like I definitely agree with that statement, but I'm a very, very affectionate person. So very touchy, feely, kissy, kissy. You know what I mean? But I feel like my show of love is through affection, but also realizing like even when I'm not with my boyfriend, knowing that I still love him even though I'm not like in his presence or like I can't feel him right now. And so I feel like in a sense of like safety and protection. Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
I was also gonna say like loyalty. I think
Yeah,
like
or-
deep. Oh, go ahead.
No, or trust. I'm sorry.
Yes,
Yeah.
loyalty and trust.
Yeah.
But I think that like deep affection, it goes the extra step when like my friends are loyal to me, and like loyal, not in like a toxic way, but just like I know that they respect me and they know that I stand on business and they know how to be there for me. They know when to be affectionate and they know when to leave me the hell alone.
Yeah,
So I think that like understanding, in addition to the trust, but like deep understanding of the person is also required with the deep affection.
That's true.
Not just affection, but understanding.
Right.
Like actually comprehending somebody's whole personality.
Yeah.
That's really important. Because like I love being around people, But sometimes I just want to shut up and sit down.
Right.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
feel like this is not the first time that we've said that on the podcast. Like, we're tired.
Like, we're just
We just
tired.
want to be in each other's presence. Like, that's all we
Right.
need sometimes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like me and my friend Amir, we could literally sit for hours, not say a word, eating a bowl of Chipotle and just scrolling through TikTok. And that's our form of love to each other.
Yeah.
We need to have another night like that. Amir, when you hear this,
Schedule.
schedule.
No, for real.
I also think, like, on the topic of kind of familial love,
Mhm.
my mom is my best friend,
Yes.
and
That
she's
is so
very,
cute.
she's very affectionate. Like, kind of how you were talking about, like, she always wants to be like up under me, like hugging me and
Yes,
everything.
that's sweet.
And I'm just not an affectionate person. Like, so I'm kind of just staring at her like.
So how do you receive affection when it's given?
Right.
I definitely like receive her affection. Like, I like being hugged by her and everything, but it's just like that's not really how I give love. Like,
Yeah.
I'm more of a quality time person, I would say. So I think this winter break was really healing for me because I was home and I got to be around her and just like my whole family, but her especially, my sister, just like spending time with them
Yeah.
was really healing for me.
Yeah.
Like, because of course I have those connections, valuable relationships on Spelman's campus, but like coming from, like, moving away from my mom has been,
Difficult, yeah.
a transition
Yeah.
because that's my best friend.
That's so cute.
It really is.
That's real black woman love. A love
Right.
between a black daughter and a black mother.
Yeah.
It's deep.
Yes.
Miss my mom.
No, for real.
No,
Shout out.
already.
Shout out all the black moms.
I told her that. She was like, you just left.
You know, speaking of black moms, we're probably going to talk about this more than once, but it's making me think about the projections of what others think black women should do with their love.
Yeah.
Like, I think black mothers get policed with their love, especially, when it comes to, like, their children. I'm thinking specifically, I know there was a woman, I think it was later last year, who had a miscarriage, and I think she, like, flushed, what happened, and, like, she literally got charged for, like, manslaughter. And it's, that makes me think about the love that she has for that experience in her child and how corrupted that is just because, somebody thinks that they own her body.
Right. Also, like, I don't mean to go
No.
way into it, but, like, there are too many women who have experienced miscarriages in their homes and they weren't able to go to a hospital and let people know that this happened. So I just feel like for us to villainize her and her actions is just unnecessary.
It's horrible.
It's never right. That's all I wanted to add.
I think it's really important, especially as college students, especially considering we're social justice, people, and that's something we pride ourselves on, community. I think it's really important to be intentional about bringing these women, just all sorts of women, into community. Because I can't imagine how lonely and
Could be.
scary
Right.
that felt, and I know what my friendships here have done for me in times where I have felt incredibly alone and scared. I do feel oftentimes a lot of sadness for people who don't really get to engage in love, in all types, like not just romantic love, but like
And all
platonic love.
forms, yeah.
I want us just as a human race to be more empathetic about that and like be more willing to just share love constantly, because you never know
Who's going through
what
what?
someone might need.
Right. Just love. That's the vibe. Just love. And then also, speaking of platonic love, I feel like people don't talk about that a lot. And I feel like between a friendship, especially at Spelman, like there's so much love within Black sisterhood. Like Black sisterhood is really like the essence
Right.
of Black joy for women, for
And
Black women
Spelman
specifically.
College.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's like so much love on Spelman College's campus in various different forms. And I know, like my freshman year, I feel like friendships can be seasonal, but like my friends, my freshman year, like they definitely taught me how to develop into a black woman who's able to accept and receive love from other black women, because it's so frowned upon when you grow up, where it's like, you can't do that, you can't do this, like receiving love from a woman is bad, it's this and this and that. So when I came to college, I was just like, wow, like I'm surrounded by women, and I have nothing in me but love for them. And so just loving and accepting and receiving it as well.
I definitely agree. And also, I kind of relate to like learning how to love. Even though I don't have those same friends from my freshman year, I still have so much love for those friends.
Yeah.
We don't talk to each other every single day or even every semester. Like, we see each other in passing. And I'm like, I remember all the memories that I was able to make with you on this campus as a black woman. And I know, like, now and in the future, we're going to have these memories together.
Exactly.
So, I don't know. But I relate to what you said.
It gets deep because it's like, y'all don't talk no more, but I still love you.
No, yes, I still have so much love, like, especially for your accomplishments and
what
like,
you want to do.
Yes, I'm like,
overcoming adversity.
I want to be your cheerleader, even if I'm not always in your corner, or like not. If that makes, you know what I mean?
Sisterhood being like sisterhood being integral to Spelman makes me think about how a lot of the times I'll meet professors and I'm like, Mom.
No,
and like, that's so deep. Like, I am so grateful for that. I'm so grateful that I'm able to come to Spelman and feel familial relationships without trying. Like, I'll meet an administrative assistant in an department that I have never taken a class in, and we're talking about her children and like, you know, what kind of food her kid eats, like what her kid's allergic to, like, you know, I love that. That's love for me. Love is small talk that is joyful and, you know, praises the little positive things in your day. And I think that I have gotten to hone that sort of love here at Spelman. I know I would have never ever even began to interface this anywhere else in my life.
I completely agree.
I don't think I would have found a better way to learn how to love than outside of Spelman's campus.
Right.
Yeah, and I also feel like it's how you grew up, because I grew up in an African household. They don't teach you how to love, they teach you how to survive. And so everything was like survival of the fittest. And so again, when I came to Spelman, I really had to learn how to accept and receive love. Like, in high school, I was not affectionate. I was not like, don't touch me. But after coming through Spelman, like developing into who I am today, I'm very, very affectionate, and I love affection. And so like, just the transition of being a freshman year and being a junior year, it's definitely different.
Yeah.
It's an evolution of love. Love.
You can stop going.
If y'all don't know, Love's name is Love.
And then I kind of just wanted to continue on with a little bit of Bell Hooks discussion from her book. So the next quote is, "This despair about love is coupled with a callous cynicism that frowns upon any suggestion that love is as important as work, as crucial to our survival as a nation, as the drive to succeed. Our nation is equally driven by sexual obsession. There is no aspect of sexuality that is not studied, talked about, or demonstrated. Yet schools for love do not exist. Everyone assumes that we will know how to love instinctively." So I thought this quote was really interesting, and I wanted to ask if you all agree with her point that there's currently a cynicism towards love within society. She calls it like the epidemic of lovelessness. Yeah.
Yes. I have thoughts. Because one thing about being a Spelmanite is that, you know, sometimes you go out with your friends and like you see people, maybe, you know, men, and they're like trying to engage with you, and you're like, I'm with my girls right now. I think sometimes men and, you know, just loveless perhaps people see these instances and they're like, oh, like those girls are gay. Like those girls are just gay. Like whatever. Can I not love my friend so much that I want to do everything in my power to hide her from you because you're creepy? Like, that really disturbs me that, like, men and people can be so offended by what we were talking about earlier, like the purity of Black femme love,
Yeah.
and just skew it because it's not what they want it to be.
Yeah.
Like, they do want it to be something that they can sexualize, so that's what they turn it into. But like in reality, it may just be something platonic. And if it is something sexual, it doesn't have anything to do with you.
No, that's real.
That's real.
I feel like that's something, like, even we have when we're out together. Like, we have something, or we have that issue a lot of the times. Even our close friends in Spelman feel like, because I'm more femme presenting and you're more like less femme presenting, that we're together and that this isn't a platonic love.
Right.
And I just feel like that happens so much. that
like,
happens
why?
so commonly. And I feel like, I think it's because it's not that we're loveless, but we do have an obsession with this, like,
Sexual.
this sexuality and like sexual relationships. And I feel like for some reason that's what everyone believes that everyone else is thinking about as well. And it's just very
daunting.
Yeah, that's literally the word.
Black women's
It's a lot.
sexuality is like not protected. Like, if you think about it historically, like, white women's sexuality has been,
They can be the
point
bestest of the
of-
bestest friends.
oh
And you
right,
will never
You-
question
nobody
their
will ever ask
friendship.
if they're gay. Not only that, but like, they have been, you know, it's like Reefer Madness was because like people were sexually assaulting white women. Like, they were saying that was happening. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, white sexual purity
Right.
is the point of protection, but for some reason Black women's sexuality can be like
This sexual obsession.
just something that to be, you know,
Yeah.
like, that doesn't make any sense.
And then also, I experience this a lot, like, because I'm so affectionate, I'm very affectionate with my girlfriends too. And so people oftentimes be like, are you bi-curious? I'm like, I don't know what bi-curious, I'm not curious. actually. Like, I don't know what. Like, I'm not curious. I just love my girlfriends.
Yeah.
Like, I just love showing them love. Because I know, like, having girlfriends, like, especially Black girlfriends, you know, like, the true in-depth trauma that they have endured growing up. So just giving them a kiss on the cheek or a hug or like, girl, I love you.
Yeah.
And then it turns into, girl, are you bi-curious? No, I'm not curious, actually. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. And, you know, I think we should also acknowledge that there are queer relationships happening on Spelman
Right,
campus,
right.
and that's also
Spelman on Spelman
beautiful.
love.
And I love it. Like, I love to see it. I think most people love to see it. Everyone who doesn't love to see it, stop being homophobic. You see the silence after that? The silence after that. I said what I said. Yeah.
No, for real.
And then
I do want to ask, like, how do you handle, is it something that, like, do you feel like people ask you when you're giving them affection or something, do you have to, like, dial back your affection with your friends then?
No, I don't. And I won't.
Yeah.
Unless they verbally tell me,
Yeah.
like, I'm very uncomfortable with
Right.
this level of affection. A lot of them know I'm very affectionate and very bubbly, and so everything's a joke with me, honestly. But like, it's just really interesting because I know a lot of people aren't really, even before I came to Spelman, I wasn't really educated in like the LGBTQIA plus community, and so like actually understanding what it is, understanding my sexuality, although I may not be a part of the community, but accepting the community for what it is,
Right.
and not like, you know, judging and stuff like that. And so also understanding like there's no fine line in love, like, you know what I'm saying? If I want to show affection, that don't mean, if you want to show affection, that don't mean you bi-curious.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you are showing affection and you are bisexual or you are lesbian, that's you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like,
Also,
it's fine.
I do feel like it's harder to then bring in love into your friendships, because no matter what, people, even your friends, may feel like that this is a sexual relationship or that you're intending to be romantic with them. And it really, I feel like that doesn't happen as much on Spelman's campus, but I do feel like it's something to experience because we're like in a loveless society, I guess. They're not used to getting that affection.
That's true. I also feel like my aura is romantic though. So like the way I look at people, how I talk to people, so I feel like that just maybe just misconstrued it.
And you
I'm
just
letting
have to clarify.
everybody know I'm not curious. I know.
I actually am standing firmly on business.
Exactly. I'm trying to show you love and affection.
It's
Accept it.
interesting that, like, I did not think about this when writing the outline, but, you know, I've been out as pansexual, meaning just loving all genders, since I was 14, maybe 13. I came out in middle school. And in middle school, I was doing sports with women, and I remember being super intentional about just, like, looking up into the sky or, like, into a corner, because, like, I was friends with everybody, and nobody had expressed, like, oh, I think you're going to look at me or whatever, but I didn't want to make anyone uncomfortable, because I was very openly queer. And as I just, like, continued developing, like, myself, like, I think that I just had to accept that some people were going to misconstrue my love. And, you know, to the point we were talking about earlier, like, it's not my fault that people want to sexualize my platonic love. That's not my fault.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you said what you said. Like, keep doing what you're doing. Like, consent involved. But, like, keep doing what you're doing, because, like, it's not our responsibility to make someone think, oh, like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Who are you to say what is fine and what's not fine in the way I love people?
I feel like society just needs to vibe. Just vibe.
Just vibe.
Just vibe.
This conversation makes me. I read this like article called "How Black Femme Friendships Changed My Life," and literally what you said. It was published in 2018 by Cameron Glover, and what you said about having to like change how you act around certain people so that other people feel more comfortable as around you because they know you're Black and queer. I feel like this is exactly what this article is talking about. It's like having to like quiet your queerness, I guess, and not make the other straight women in the room feel like I'm a predator towards them. And I like feel that I guess that emotion. I don't know how to explain that. That was something that I wanted to talk about because I wanted to speak on the article. I feel like y'all should go read it if y'all want to look it up.
Yeah, y'all go read. Reading is fundamental.
One of my favorite things that Dr. Spence said to me once is, are the girls really reading? Like, and that encouraged me to get on my Zoom and start reading more. So go ahead and read the article that she just mentioned.
Oh yeah.
Are the girls really reading?
Right.
Are you really reading?
Girls reading?
I was like, oh my God, Dr. Spence.
Am I reading for real?
Right. Like when she said to me, I was not reading, so I was like, no, they're not. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
that is so funny. No, but I love the fact that you brought up that article, because it made me think about like how I want to be loved and how like I accept other people's loves, especially like within my Black femme friendships, and just like reflecting on my friendships and like how like I'm affectionate but my best friend Kasai may not be affectionate, but we still like balance each other out. And then also thinking like even in my relationship, like how I love, how he loves, how that balances our relationship out. Like it just put me in a deep thought process. Like, how do I want to be loved? How do y'all want to be loved?
Right. Okay. That's a good question. Hold on, I gotta think about that.
Yeah, like how do y'all want to be loved? Damn, I got y'all on your thoughts.
That's a hard question.
Yeah, and it's funny that it's hard even though I'm in a relationship, but you know, we're long distance. So I think about how I want to be loved a lot, because there's going to be a time where, you know, we're physically together and things are just like regular. Like right now, I just want compassion and, you know, someone who literally just makes me laugh, like takes my mind off of things, like for real. That looks like love for me, because that is an understanding of how like busy and stressed I am all the time. And so I don't know, but I also think I would like to have quality time, but I need to do it, you know?
No, literally. And then it also made me realize like how I want to be loved, how I love, what I love about my relationship. And I just want to shout out my boyfriend, y'all. I'm so
Shout out RJ.
Like I love how he loves me in like my fullest form. Like I don't have to like adjust. I don't have to like make myself turn into this smaller person. Like he knows I'm dramatic. I have this really big personality, and he accepts it wholly. Speaking of, he just texted me.
That is cute, actually. That is cute.
How do you guys want to be loved?
Yeah, I think That was an interesting question for me because the only love that I've experienced, I don't want to say only as if that's like not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I've never experienced romantic love.
Sure.
Aw,
So,
that's so pure and innocent.
Oh,
I love that. Because it's
Oh
like you
my
have
God.
so much to love and experience.
Right.
No, it is such a
It's
beautiful
so
experience to
Yes.
have that for the first time.
Mhm.
I'm excited for that.
Let me know when it happens.
I'll
Yeah,
let you know.
let us know.
But I think it's interesting because, as we were talking about before, society does have a tendency to only, you know, discuss romantic love.
Yeah.
So my mind, the first thing my mind went to is like my platonic love
Yeah.
and my familial love,
Mhm.
because those, you know what I'm saying? Like that's my foundation.
Exactly.
Those are my people. And I feel like within those relationships, the biggest thing is what you were talking about, someone who accepts you wholeheartedly for who you are.
Right.
I feel like that's like the biggest sign of love for me. That's one of the most important things like in my loving relationships.
Yeah.
So I feel like that will remain, you know, something
Important.
that's important to me
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
when that day
Yeah.
comes.
Exactly. I'm gonna be at the wedding like y'all didn't know
This is
her.
our first, you know,
This is our
video
first-
recording. Right now, you know what Shiloh looks like.
Oh, y'all.
I'm sorry, I'm such an uncle
If
for
you're
that. Oh my
single
God.
and you're looking for a very beautiful
Oh,
girl who's
and
intelligent and
me.
smart, y'all hit up
And a social
Shiloh.
justice
Hit up the
advocate.
social
justice
advocate.
Hit up Blue Record House. Don't be like, oh,
Make sure you apply for a
Apply.
position.
I'm applying.
That's so funny.
And me, Love, and Dell will be reviewing the applications.
Exactly.
We're also seeking
Scheduling
applications for
interviews.
Dell as well.
Oh,
We won't be taking
We
off.
won't.
Right.
All of those will
So
be sent straight to the trash.
Literally. No, yeah, I also relate. Like, I
Mhm.
feel every time I think of love, I immediately go to familial love. I go to all of my, I have 5 older sisters. All
Oh.
of my love and everything I've learned about love,
Mhm.
honestly and truly, has came from my 5 older sisters.
Mhm.
And then I just feel like, other than that, in romantic love, I think I would want to be literally heard. And I think, like, I say protected a lot, but I think that's something that's really important to me, is feeling like,
Safe.
really
Yeah.
safe with that person who I'm with, feeling like I'm not going to be judged in any capacity, like for my thoughts and how I go about things. So I think that's all I want, is like this type of really trusting, safe space for myself.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what I want in love.
Yes. I think with that safe space also, like someone who just listens to you and
Mhm.
doesn't immediately try to like, you know, jump to a solution.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yes.
that's something that I love in a lot of my platonic friendships too.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
An
being
active
heard.
listener.
Right, yes, being
Yes.
heard, yes.
I feel like the things that we're seeking and how we want to be loved is how Black women are hated on in society. So, for example, like us being misheard, lack of communication, having to fit into this box,
Right.
like everything we're saying.
Wanting to feel safe.
Exactly.
Black women get demonized for wanting to feel safe.
Safe.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah.
Like the comments on social media when women, like, it's actually
When they want stability,
scary.
when they want
Exactly.
safety in their homes.
Oh my
Right. Yeah, I hear
goodness,
you.
like
And why is it that y'all can do this in front of God and everybody? Like,
right.
what?
Listen,
What's making you feel?
Yeah.
like what makes you feel so confident in God's green earth to say that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like the fact that like Black women are always put in like survival mode, but wanting to feel safe within like a loving atmosphere is something that we all desire. I feel like it's really deep.
Yeah.
It steps into that trauma wound that Black women
Yeah,
experience.
I think that's
It's
why.
like, get off the top.
I think that's
Racial
why
hate.
Bell Hooks talking about like women and the way that they love specifically is so significant. Like, if you want to get into that quote, Shiloh.
Yes. So the quote says, "All my life, I have thought of love as primarily a topic women contemplate with greater intensity and vigor than anybody else on the planet. I still hold this belief, even though female visionary thinking on the subject has yet to be taken seriously as seriously as the thoughts and writings of men. Men theorize about love, but women are most often love's practitioners."
Come on now.
Right. I definitely consider myself a practitioner of love.
Right.
Like, I am confident in the way that I love the people in my life. Like, I definitely critique myself, you know, when there's room for critique, but I know myself, and I'm always loving the people in my life. And I think that self-awareness is also like really important in the whole conversation of like love, what you want, how you want to receive it, how you want to give it. Like, you have to know yourself to understand these things for yourself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say that women are better at self-awareness or anything, but
I will say
No, I'll say it
that.
too.
in a sense that, you know,
Yeah.
in a sense that
Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness.
No, I think you're completely right. Like, I think that men don't. Then it's the intentionality behind it. I think I bring that up so much. It's your intention.
yeah.
If your intention isn't clear to yourself, I don't know how it's going to be clear for anybody else. I feel like women, or I feel like women have had to show an expertise in love
yeah.
to like keep moving. I
Wow.
don't know if that makes sense.
No, that
Yeah.
does make sense. It's like we have to show it more.
We like, I don't know. I like, even if we don't have an expertise,
Right.
like if we are not good at love, that's like,
Unacceptable.
yeah, exactly. Like, you can't not be
Yeah.
a good loving mother, a good loving
Yes.
sister,
A good loving wife.
Yes, you have to
Yeah.
be great at giving
A
love.
good loving daughter.
Yeah, that's so true. And then it's also like the idea of what love is then put on us to portray it when that may not be how we want to be loved or how we love or how
Right.
we want to feel love. And so I think that's really interesting to think about, because it's like, dang, like society really has black women in this like little scope of things, and we can't like evolve and like transcend out of it. I think that's
Yeah.
really interesting.
And when we do, we're harmed.
Exactly.
Or villainized. Like, yeah,
Exactly.
it's not an exception.
And then also like the idea that loving is like a feminine quality, and so a lot of men that I come across actually lack love or lack
Right.
the ability to receive love.
Yeah.
And so I think it's really interesting because it's like how we're raised and how we grow up. And then I also say
Society
like,
too.
yes, society. And I also say like black women need to do, you know, their job in a sense of like,
raising black men.
yes, raising black
But
men
at the same time.
at the same time. You know what I'm saying? It's like a whole circle.
No,
Yeah.
black men need to be in black young men's lives
for
and
sure.
being
Get into
examples
it.
for them. It's not a woman's. I'm sorry. Hold on.
No.
The church in me started to show up. Hold on.
I'm sorry that I brought
Get
that
into
out.
it.
I say that because I have 5 older sisters. I don't mean to say this on a podcast, say that women's job is to raise good black men. We want them to raise good black men because they're usually the sole parent in that home.
Right.
It's
Exactly.
usually left on them to raise the good black men. And sadly, when they fail, it's placed on them and not the person who left that situation.
Right.
Exactly.
So that's, I truly
I
agree.
100%
No,
agree
I
with
think
that.
I just got upset because I want there to be more community organizing around prioritizing young black
Mhm.
men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
We need to have a whole
episode about that
yeah, we
one.
do. That's a whole
Yeah,
different
but
topic.
that's love. Like, that is
Yeah.
showing love, and that is where this lovelessness, I think, comes into it. It's because, you know, some people don't have a community that fed into them, so they don't think, well, if I don't create the community for these young youth, then like, who's gonna do it?
Yeah.
Like, they're not considering that.
Yeah.
That's why I got so frustrated.
No, that's
No, it's
real.
okay.
We don't place the blame on the black man. We never do. but
Yeah.
We
And we should. And I also feel like I agree.
And we should.
should. And we should start.
We should start placing the blame on who needs to be blamed
Right.
in this situation, because I feel like every situation is
Different.
different. But I definitely agree with Dell in a sense of like, it's not the black woman's job, but it's often left on us to do the job. So
Yeah.
then it becomes our job.
Right.
Yeah.
And so then it's like
Becomes
this
our
whole
failure.
cycle of, well, I always say, because I grew up with 3 older brothers, like my black mom coddles her black son to the early ages of adulthood. And
The
so,
way you said that.
because I literally did a whole
Like, it was
research
clinical.
essay.
No,
Oh,
that's
wow,
real.
you did.
That's
I
real.
was like...
Like, I feel like black moms, like, really, like, coddle their black
Yeah.
sons, and then raise their black daughters. And so that leaves us in, like, also survival mode, but also having to learn how to be feminine and soft and loving
Right.
and this and that. And it's like,
It leaves a lot on our little plate.
exactly.
Yeah.
My plate is literally this big. I don't even have much room. Like, no room at all, actually.
So, to close out the episode, we're going to have a quick robust discussion about the color purple.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the color purple and all of the reviews and critiques that's been recently coming out about it. Before I ask you guys how you feel about it, we're gonna discuss something from Anaya Barnes, our former director of Tech Ops
Wait,
at
say it one more
TBR.
time. It's Anaya Baines.
Oh my bad.
It's okay.
Okay, before I ask you guys about your reviews and critiques, we're gonna discuss some text from Anaya Baines, former director of Tech Ops of the Blue Record Podcast, and Anaya is currently a fellow at Girls Right Now. Context.
It's okay.
What does this say?
It's okay.
My bad, y'all.
It's totally fine.
What does this say though? Contract social media
Consultant at Lola. You know
That's a
what?
lot.
You know what? Just
did
say
she say?
she's currently a fellow at Girls Right Now, because she said that's the most important thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's start over. Okay, guys, we're gonna start discussing some text from Anaya Baines, former director of Tech Ops of TBR. Anaya is currently a fellow at Girls Right Now. Come
Period.
on now.
Exactly.
Right. And we're gonna read just a quote from her initial review. Let's get right into it. I cried. Black people in musicals are a match made in heaven. I think that this adaptation does a fairly good job balancing the pain with the joy. I do wish that it leaned more into quiet. That would make the big numbers have even more impact. Another missed opportunity is how they use light skin as shorthand for desirability, i.e. Nettie and Suge. This does a disservice to the nuance and commentary in the novel. I also think that this version improves upon Suge and Celie's relationship from the previous adaptation. However, I wish it was more queer. I believe that oftentimes queer love can be presented as more sanitized than its straight counterpart. This is perhaps an overcorrection in reaction to the fetishization that LGBT plus people face. However, queer sex is important. Sex is not just salacious. It can be healing, holy. If we see sex used as perfunctory violence, re Mr. and Celie, why can't we have a scene where we see Celie really experience pleasure for the first time? Anaya's initial review.
Woo!
That was deep.
No,
Yeah,
it was.
no, like,
That was really deep.
Anaya really can write, like, because that was just a text. Like, that wasn't even like a blog post or anything.
No, yeah.
Like, that was really deep.
I really appreciate what was said about leaning into the quiet.
Yes.
I really loved that about the original film, especially growing up, or I don't know if I can say growing up, but going to high school in like rural Alabama. The quiet, like I'm thinking about the scenes where they bring out the juke joint onto the river and how it's like super quiet when that happens. And like there's other parts of the movie where that happens, and I just feel like it shows the southernness and the ruralness.
The silence you're gonna find.
The silence that you find in the rural parts of Georgia, I think, which is where they're supposed to be.
For sure.
Georgia.
I also agree that just off of what I saw, because I've seen the original version, I haven't seen the new one, but I did see a clip of the musical duet between Taraji P. Henson and my soror, Fantasia. Shout out to D9. But anyway, you know, that sanitized, I think, was like the word that I felt, and I know you guys have like different feelings about it, but I think that there's a balance between not fetishizing queer sexuality and earnestly and honestly telling the story. And I think the original version, even though according to the LA Times article, that was still sanitized because Steven Spielberg didn't want to go too crazy.
I think he didn't know how to accurately portray it.
Right.
Because he addressed the fact that he should have, like, done more with the representation of the relationship between Suge and Celie, but for some reason he didn't. And he was like, I was kind of shy as a director to, I guess, go
But
there.
it's like,
but
as a
Sounds like a cop-out.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
That's what I'm
saying.
saying. Like, I feel like, first of all, the first red flag is The Color Purple is written by a black woman,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody in the original film is black. A majority of the people. I haven't seen either, so I'm just what I'm saying, I'm just here. But I definitely think that like as a director, if you know that you have to shy away from a very important scene and desensitize it,
Reject
maybe
the
you
film.
should.
Yeah.
I don't think you should direct it actually.
And it was very important to Alice Walker that the relationship between Suge and Celie was portrayed like fully and wholeheartedly.
Exactly.
Especially because she says she based Celie off her grandmother and like these were her real experiences. And so I just think it's interesting that Steven Spielberg had that power like within the movie.
Exactly.
Period.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, and I also think it's really interesting because I've seen a lot of think pieces on Black Twitter, and people are saying like the entire movie's desensitized because it's turned into a musical, and I feel like that can be debated. But however, I do think a lot of people were saying like Oprah did not need to make this. She didn't even make it. It just should have stayed in the vault. And
I mean, I appreciate seeing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of readaptations happening currently that everybody's
Didn't need
feeling,
to happen.
Yeah,
Right.
everybody's feeling like, why do we keep getting more?
Right.
Yeah.
People aren't writing.
Yeah, no one's writing.
Nobody's
and
writing.
I
Are
want more
people
black
reading?
stories.
Sorry.
are
Girls
reading.
reading.
The girls aren't reading, so the girls aren't writing.
Okay, please. No, I just think I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
I think that these reviews and these critiques come from a valid place, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it tends to also come from a lot of racialized places. Like it's usually because they don't want to see more black people on the screen. They don't want to see another black story being told, and it's like, at least that's from my opinion.
Yeah.
So
Right, and sorry, I was just gonna say that like I think that the more recent film leaned into the musical aspect because the actress that portrays Celie is sanctified, like gifted spiritually with the gift of voice and song. I felt like they had to.
they decided to do the musical.
I felt like they had to make
They
it
had
a
to get
musical, like
Fantasia
for real. Like they
But
had
no,
to
but
let
it's
her
a
shine.
musical. It's a Broadway.
On Broadway.
Yeah, it's
Didn't
already on
Fantasia
Broadway.
Right.
play Celie?
Yeah.
Oh,
So I'm
right.
like,
Yeah.
She did play it on Broadway
they
too.
made a movie of
I
the
forgot
Broadway
that
musical.
she did it
Yeah.
on Broadway too.
See,
I don't know why I thought it was just
I don't think
scary,
it's
though.
wrong that it's a musical. However, I do think it's wrong that there's a white director. There's so many
Yeah.
black directors who could
Or
have
with
directed
the-
that and really portrayed the actual like deep relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Especially if he was like a close friend of Alice Walker or whatever. Like they were
Yeah.
very close.
If he was
like,
really close, how he was saying,
like
was
honor
the-
her intentions for the film.
Director for
Yeah, the director for the
Yeah.
most recent one is a black man.
okay, but
And
like,
that
last
may have been another reason why he didn't go out sexualizing the queer relationship, because he didn't want to be like, ridiculed for fetishizing.
yeah, especially
It's
as
a
a black
thin
man.
line. Maybe we just need to let black women direct movies then.
Right.
However, isn't the book like
More than
the
that.
way Alice Walker describes it in the book? It's actually quite in depth of their sexual
It is
relationship.
in the book, yeah.
So let's start bringing the book to life.
Right.
Right.
Like let's
I
do what the artist actually wanted.
Right.
I feel like it's her art. Let's
Mm-hmm.
just portray it the way that she wanted it to be portrayed.
Exactly. I really wonder how many black female voices were like behind the scenes in the creation of the new film.
Yeah.
Because now we know it was a black man who directed it, and then Oprah was a part of like production. But like who else?
I did
Who else?
hear some.
Who else was there?
I did hear some concerning things about the way that the actresses were treated. Like,
Oh, the pay.
well, the
Oh,
pay
yeah.
and also like
That's what I'm saying.
for
Every time we bring up Oprah, I'm
because
like,
Barbie. I know. No, because like Barbie, who I think Warner Brothers also did, they had like a smoothie bar and a cafe specific to the Barbie set.
oh,
But
that's
like
cute.
the people, the Color Purple cast didn't have anything. I almost cussed because like they literally didn't have anything compared to what
I'm
the
sorry,
Barbie
that is so
people
horrible.
said. No, and I think it's really disturbing.
No, for
Yeah.
real. Like, how did the Barbie? I can just imagine. I'm only laughing because I can
It's
really
just
imagine
bad.
the pricing going towards the Barbie movie
Right.
and all of the media
That
we
movie
saw
wasn't
behind
that
it.
good.
It
Oh,
was.
It was so bad.
It was
It was
not
actually
great.
I can talk about that
terrible
movie for days.
It was not
movie.
great.
I didn't like it.
And they had a lot of
I
money.
sat in the theater. I'm like, I wasted my
Well,
money.
was
Issa
so
Rae is beautiful and perfect.
I
Issa
love
Rae.
Issa
But that's
Rae.
the
I
only
love
important part.
Issa Rae.
Why was she
but-
the only black one in the film though?
They needed one.
I thought Barbie was supposed to be
needed
about
one.
women.
I'm
See,
sorry.
When white people say woman, they mean white woman.
No,
No, literally, because all the white women on TikTok are like,
Also-
if your boyfriend doesn't ask you to see Barbie, break up with him. Like this is revolutionary. And I was so confused because I walked into the theater really thinking I was about to be like,
Like,
I was like, I learned this
revolutionized.
in ADW actually.
No, right.
Oh
that's
my
how
God.
Like, y'all are
Right.
actually like 20 years behind.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, speaking of ADW,
Ooh, get
Alice
into it.
Walker is the author of The Color Purple.
Right.
Really quickly, Screen Rant describes the purple color itself as a representation of power, and it symbolizes Celia's transformation into a confident woman who's independent and bold. Like the color purple is very bold. It's also a representation of her spiritual and sexual awakening. Obviously, those things happen in the film, so I really just want to call it into conversation with actual color purple and Alice Walker's definition of womanism. She has 4, but my favorite, or one of my favorites, was womanist is to feminist as purple is
It's
to
to
lavender.
lavender.
It really is.
That's so deep.
It really is. It's beautiful.
Because it's
Yes,
like
we wrap it
feminism
up.
is deep and rich,
Right.
like the color purple, but feminism's more like,
Oh, hold on. No, sorry.
I was getting too deep.
No. I mean,
Feminism is more like, not in the sense that.
In a sense that, you know what I'm saying? It's good that you stopped me, Farm.
I think that everyone should walk away from today's episode just feeling encouraged to call up their girls and kiki and just have some love and experience some love with your loved ones. You know, Valentine's Day is a very interesting holiday. You know, many people believe it is just a capitalist, invention. So let's reclaim it as Black women and really make it about genuine, beautiful, just real love.
I agree.
Love, love.
Fina,
Happy
I'm gonna edit you out of this episode.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Thanks for
Valentine's
listening,
Day.
everybody.
Stay joyful.
Listening.
Be sure to stay tuned with us at the Blue Record Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. And check out our website, thebluerecordpodcast.com, for our blog and any other updates.
Yes.
We'll talk to you soon.